Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hi everyone. Thank you to Sir Mawardin for giving me the opportunity to give a speech. Okay, first of all, let me introduce myself. My name is Sakina, and you can call me Kina. And don't forget that we also offer our praise and gratitude to Allah, the Almighty God, for giving us the opportunity to be present in today's class. Next, we also don't forget to send salawat and greetings to the Prophet Muhammad SAW, peace be upon him, who has guided us from the path of the shadows to the path that is bright as it's today. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, today I'm going to make a speech about speaking in a professional context. So, watch this video until it's finished. So what is speaking? The ability to speak or speaking skills is an important ability to communicate in English. The ability to speak can be very important because it is needed in conversational activities or conversations. Speaking skills are also needed in communicating something, like when giving a presentation. There are several components of speaking skills that you should know and also learn in order to improve your ability to speak English properly and correctly. Speaking or the ability to speak in English is one of the basic competencies that must be mastered, especially in the current era. There are several explanations of the meaning of speaking, according to experts, that you can understand. The ability to speak English is a productive skill related to your mastery of a topic through listening. Speaking is one of the skill or abilities in English to express opinion, comment, and reject other people opinion if they are not in accordance with our opinion, as well as the ability to ask and answer this question. In speaking, if we give question, we need answer. If we give information, we need to we need a response. And if we give instruction, we need action. And finally, if we give an opinion, of course, we need a choice. Okay, next, um, oral language. Oral language is the language that is directly spoken by the speakers of the language to the listener of the language. Understanding the meaning of spoken language is determined by intonation. Spoken language uses a sound system with certain rules. Conditions for using spoken language are dynamic compared to written language. Okay, speaking and writing are included in productive skill, and while listening and reading are included in receptive skill. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, next I will explain about component of language in speaking. There are four components of language. The first is pronunciation, the second is vocabulary, and the third is structure, and the last is meaning. Okay, I will explain the first component of language, namely pronunciation. Pronunciation is an important part of speaking skills in English. Pronunciation is crucial when using English orally, in contrast to written language where the party invited to communicate will read the letters and discuss the meaning of the sentences written. In a conversational, the communication partner must hear what the other people is saying. Good pronunciation will reduce the risk of misunderstanding because the other person fails to catch or is unable to hear what you really want to say. Such situations may lead to misunderstandings. Pronunciation is a way of pronouncing vocabulary in a general way. Why in a common way? Because English sometimes has dialect or accents. Good pronunciation will make the other person catch what you are saying. Good pronunciation practice involves articulation, intonation, rhythm, and cutting off phrase. In the practice of conversation, good pronunciation is also followed by body language or gesture and also eye contact to reduce the risk of misunderstanding. What is pronunciation? Pronunciation is a part of speaking skill which can be directly and clearly observed and known. When someone speaks in English, the person listening will immediately identify the pronunciation or pronunciation of that person. We have got pronunciation since we were toddlers, namely by thinking of the first word for the first time. For example, the word ma. Ma is the when we call me mama. Okay, next, vocabulary. So, what is vocabulary? Vocabulary is a well of language which is also very important as part of the component of speaking skill. Someone with good grammar skill might fail to communicate because they don't have the complete vocabulary to express an idea or mention an object. So that the richness of the vocabulary should not be underestimated and considered not as important as the ability to master grammar. Vocabulary is diction or the right choice of words. The richness of the vocabulary is important. Someone with a rich vocabulary will find it easier to grasp ideas or information conveyed by other parties and vice versa when acting as a party speaking to convey ideas or information. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, next, structure. So, the structure is the stage in speaking English, which are interconnected, such as pronunciation and vocabulary. When we think about English proficiency, the first skill of listening, speaking, reading, and writing immediately come to mind. Learning language is very fun, especially learning English, very fun and very useful. And the last is meaning. So, meaning is the way we understand someone's way of doing a conversation. This meaning is also interconnected with pronunciation, vocabulary, and structure. When conducting a conversation, we need to pay attention to several important points in speaking in English, such as the pronunciation, vocabulary, and structure of the words, so that people will easily understand what we are talking about. So, those are the four components in language. Next, ladies and gentlemen, I will explain about the component of speaking. There are three components of speaking, namely fluency, accuracy, and appropriacy. Okay, first I will explain about fluency. So, what is fluency? Fluency is how flow and efficiency when you express ideas, especially in English. A few grammar mistakes will pop up here and there when you explain something, but it's delivered in a way that's easy to understand and show that you're comfortable speaking English. In academic or more professional settings, fluency is the skill you should focus on when presenting or debating. The way you explain a topic or prove a point smoothly, clearly, and precisely without too many pauses or hesitations is just as important as the content of your presentation. Outside the classroom, fluency will make it easier for you to socialize with native speaker and avoid understanding. To improve fluency in English, practice every day and try to communicate with someone. Then enter the word or phrase you just learned. Remember, don't let your fear of grammar mistakes hold you back. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, next I will explain about accuracy. So, what is accuracy? Accuracy, on the other hand, demonstrates your ability to use vocabulary, grammar, use function correctly, use tense of verbs, past tense, present tense, and articles, articles and the, and preposition in, on, from, and on. This ability is especially important when taking written exam at university, such as essays and report. This is also especially important when you're in the workforce, as emails and report with grammatical errors or grammatical errors can appear unprofessional. unprofessional. Apart from talking English course, one easy way to improve your proficiency in English is to read various English materials in your daily life, be it novels, non-fiction, books, newspaper, or magazine, and so on. Reading is an easy and effective way to absorb grammar and tenses. So, where are you now and what are you doing to get there? Of course, to be proficient in English, you must have both abilities. But this is but this is a learning process that requires time and dedication. Next, the last I will explain about appropriacy. So, what is appropriacy? Appropriacy refers to whether a word is suitable for the context it's being used in. It's an important aspect of language, but an extremely complex one, as decision about how to say things depend on understanding exactly what is right for the context and the culture. For example, it may be appropriate to say, "Hold on a minute, will you?" in one context and "Could you wait a moment, please?" in another. In the classroom, focusing on inappropriate forms of language and delivery first is a good way to raise awareness of this area. For example, uh, learners can identify inappropriate in language in video materials such as comedy programs, match language to context where it can be used, and discuss what is appropriate in their own cultures. In general, it is exposure to a range of authentic material that will help students develop their understanding of appropriacy. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Next, I will explain about speaking device. There are two types of speaking device. The first is monologue and the second is dialogue. Okay? The first, monologue. In general, the notion of monologue is a role-playing dialogue that does not need to be done by many people. It's enough just to do it yourself. And the last is dialogue. Dialogue is conversation between two or more people. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for watching my video until it's finished. If there are words that are not pleasing, please understand because they come from me. That's how I delivered my speech. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye bye.